Good morning friends, Namaskar, Sasyakal and Adab. Friends, this is my continuation of STR, Standard Table Rent, and the District Collector Rate, that is the DCR. Now I will remind you that I have already made videos of numbering 243, 245, 246 and one video 244 on lease bungalow or a property in Pune Cantonment. So why am I stating this? That these videos have to be watched in chronology. Make your datas. So this video will be again covering the STR rate. Now here I will be making a new pleading altogether. This pleading is basically what the government and what the department has not been doing for us, because it has twisted our original formula of 1925 or 37 CLA rules for calculating the STR. From 1985 they calculate the STR on the collector rate. So these are two various issues. Now I am coming to an issue where, okay, let's presume you are charging us 1985 STR. What is the STR system? You convert it into square meters. Let's say if there is 1,000 square yard collector rate in your area, it is converted into square meters, multiplied by the area, hold it in square meters, divided by 10. Out of that value which comes, 2.5% is your STR. So this is how STR is calculated by the department. I think now people should be very much aware. Now I'll pick up my again bungalow only. I'm not picking up anybody's bungalow. I'm only picking up and concentrating on my bungalow. Okay. So 102 Mall originally was 1.6 acres of land holding. If we convert it into square feet, it comes out to be approximately 69,696 square feet. We convert it into square yards, it is approximately 7,744 square yards. Now when I convert the same thing into square meters, it is 6,475 approximately square meters. So I have already explained you, the department will multiply this, convert it into square meters. Like in mathematics, you have to balance both the sides. The MKS system, and even on your right hand side it has to be the MKS system. If CGS system is on your left hand side, right side also has to have the CJ. So we will all take the multiplications in square meters. But why did the government convert us into square meters? It could have simply said us into square yards. What is the basic formula which generally tends to? But well, let's forget all that. So coming to the formula. Now this is very important, because this STR finally calculation, your rental value per annum takes you to your AVR value. That is the annual value rateable on which the department or the CEO or the tax superintendent thinks that you can be taxed, and your tax could be 9%, 7%, 11% of the value. But in that case, he even adds into the built up value of the property. So we leave it there. These combinations, because since 1936, I would say we were paying income tax on our properties. From 1936 to 1880, this is 1830 to 1880. So this is how the system used to be driven. Income tax was on the income driven from the property, minus your living index, your maintenance index, your interest or anything. Now coming to 1880, when the first house tax was charged till 1924 and further on, what was and how the formulas were driven for the AVRs, they're all on websites of the cantonment boards. Some cantonment boards are not putting them on their websites. I don't know why doesn't the Director General Lands tend to verify all this. Why isn't the public made aware? Modi ji says we should be on a digital India. So we are just hyping digital India in the cantonment boards. So why? Here is my question now in this video. Why should I pay for that land which I am not owning? It doesn't belong to me, na? This is what the government says. I am only the owner of the built up state. This is what your tax superintendent will tell you. When you ask him, why are you charging me tax? The tax says something else. The tax structure says something else. If you read the 1911 notification for taxation, and the 1909 circular, it says tax is on land along with building. And he says if the property is of a government, no tax has to be charged. The tax has to be only charged on the rental income driven out. Why this change? You need to understand, in 1985 the government usurped, JP Mittal actually screwed us. We are not educated. So once you are uneducated, you have no right. You are treated like slaves. And we people bribe, we people think we are rich, we people think we are very close to the CEOs, PDs and DGs. Agreed, yaar, we are very close, have a cordial relation. The executive is for us. We have to listen to what the executive says. But the executive has to abide by the laws made. As citizens, India is yet a welfare state. We are not a developed nation. So we don't question anybody. We keep bribing, we keep going under the table, we keep going begging. This is what we do. Why we create associations? So that those presidents and secretaries of the local chapters can come close to the CODOs on the platter of the association, and they can build up their own 101 relation. What is the new association, IVA or whatever its name is, what are they doing? Nothing. 2016 Sqmt committee, they did nothing. So we people are just creating association for what? 1 or 2 meetings, meet Murli Manohar Joshi or me. What are we really doing? Who has done anything? What was the need of the Cantonment Act to be amended? What was the need of a new CLA rules? What was the new need for the amendment of the GGO 179? Nothing. One side the government says, I want to abolish cantonments. One side it is doing these 3 things. What is the government trying to tell us? Understand this. Now coming to what is this? Why we should not be paying for our land? Because it doesn't belong to us. So now what will be my tax structure? How many people know what is tax structure? I know, I remember I told one bungalow owner in Sikandrabad, Belgaum, Rajan, and he said, Ronnie ji, I dug into my tax structure. He didn't share it with me since then. Never mind. I know people don't want to share things. They have their own fancies. As if I or they themselves, by holding on to these documents, can change their fortunes. Tax structure is very important. 2008, I remember I got my tax structure made from the then CEO in Ambala. And I can openly say that I took a refund without going to the court of the tax paid to the department in excess. Who has done it in India? Tell me. Somebody was just yesterday telling me, Ronnie ji, you must highlight what all your achievements are. I can, but aren't I going to do a misuse of my secrecy under the law with my client? I know I've got some bungalows executively and driven by the DCs that these are private properties. I know without going to the court, I've got some resumption notices on hold. I know I've somewhere got the GLRs proven purged, fabricated, fraud. See, nobody is going to admit that I am a thief. The department will never come back. This is what I try and tell the Sikandrabad people. This is what I told Surana ji. That your GLR in Sikandrabad says it's an old grant, Government of India is the owner of the property. So you have to challenge that record of rights. So you need to go to the court to do that. So will you do it for the entire Sikandrabad? Will you do it for the entire Aurangabad? Mau people, there is a lady, I remember, I don't hesitate because I respect the lady, Mrs. Rodericks. She always lived into a fancy of Mr. Basani's judgment of 2011. Why am I venting these names? This is because people are not listening. So today I am honestly saying, get up, wake up. Don't pay tax for the land which you don't own. So your STR valuations will change. Now what will happen? Your liabilities will go reduce down. Yes, your market values will also come down. But just imagine a land which you are not owned and government is the owner, why pay for that area? Let's say if there is a property which is 9 acres, the STR works out to be 10 crores. He is to pay 2.5% of it. We have one of Sandeep Jain in Ambala, which is about 8.9 acres. So I can raise up this because I have GLRs of most of the cantonments. I have the list of owners, area holded, present owner. Please friends, 2008, 9, 10, this is what I did in RTIs. So now what am I trying to say? This data now, see this sheet. This sheet will speak of, let's say 102, the mall was 1.6 acres. Again, I am speaking of the complete verification. It was approximately 69,696 square feet, 744 square yards, 6,475 square meters. So now when I take up my built up area, what was my main built up area? It was, let's say I'll go straight in square meter. My main building was 593.3888 square meters. My servant quarters were 231. My garages were 135. My stable was 123. So my total open land after this built up area was extra, was 5,391 square meters. And I am not willing to pay for this area. I will only pay for my composite area, that is 1083 square meters. So once when I take this as a figure, now let's go back to the same 1985-88 STR, that is 36 rupees. What was my annual rent calculated on the whole land? 1.6 acres was 23,309 rupees. So my collector rate in reverse was 120.4. I'm just trying to rebrush. So now government was asking me to pay 23,000. Now let's go by this figure, what I just told you. I just calculated. Now let's say if I have to pay for 1083.04 acres. Now what is my rental to be paid on the collector rate of 36 rupees is 3,894 per annum. And what is the department asking? On the whole plot, which is 6,475 square meters, is 23,309 rupees. So there is a difference of 19,411. Isn't this big? This is how we can save ourselves. We can definitely go to the courts and plead all this. But the bigger question is, most of the bungalow owners don't want to come up and share their constructed areas because they've done a lot of illegal constructions. Maybe 5-10% who are actually the original owners, or by the policies or by 1995 construction policy, they have the original plinth areas. So it is very difficult, when the tax team visits us every 3 years, we do not want a tax structure to be prepared by the tax team which is physically, because we don't want him to measure our built up areas. He has to segregate then he rates those buildings. This is A class construction, this is B class, C, and these are all rates in the PWD system. If it's an A class construction, what is the square meter rate? What if it is a B class? So this is how things are calculated. Everything is in place, but who will work hard? So till 1880, why there was no house tax to us? You need to understand. We were a grant in 1836. This is what the government says. So why until 1836 to 1880 they didn't take grant from us, tax from us? There's a reason to be asked. Purposely they didn't, because in 1880 they started influxing these delimitation and the civil areas into the cantonments. So again the STR 1985 policies 2.5%, pleadings have to be taken, bungalows or properties getting exorbitant notices and the same principles can be questioned. So we can actually plead in the court, why not do this when they claim that we are not the owners of this? So this is just a sheet shown to you. It's an eye opener. So if everybody who wants to get their data made, STRs, DCRs or built up area rates, my office is ready to do it, but we'll be charging rupees 10,000 and you need to share your GLR, land sale documents, house tax claims for last 3 tricentennial, that means 9 years, your physical land measurements done by an approved architect, built up blocks, A class, B class, C class. So once this reaches, then we will make this mathematical sheet match and your district collectors and STRs will come out. So friends, once again, we were never converted into new grants by the British or by the DC of your district, because we were revenue free grants. Thank you. Good day.